Shown here is a new set of rear hatch shocks for the Porsche Cayenne. Replacement is relatively easy, but it does require removing some trim panels to access them. Begin by removing the retractable shade from the rear of the Cayenne. Press the tab on the shade and lift it up and out of the back of the car. This image illustrates the center upper trim panel that holds the rear hatch light. You will need to remove this panel to gain access to the side panels. Begin by prying the light out of the trim panel on the side shown here, green arrow. Pull off the electrical connector to the light, green arrow. You'll now need to remove the trim panel. Start at the outside edge and pull down the panel enough to see the mounting clips, green arrow. Use a flathead screwdriver to carefully pop each clip out from the sheet metal. Take care not to damage the plastic towers that hold the clips. Just take your time and work carefully. Open the plastic covers at the top of each rear side panel, green arrow. Remove the T10 torque screw, green arrow, from each side. Now, from the top edge of each side panel, carefully pop the retaining clips out, green arrow. Again, take care not to damage the plastic towers. Once free, carefully pull on each side panel until you feel the clip pop out of the sheet metal. It will take a bit of effort and also care to remove the side panels. You may also find that some of the metal clips are still stuck inside the sheet metal. If this happens, just pop them out and fit them back into the plastic tower. Press the tab on the connector going to each speaker and pull it off, green arrow. On each side of the car, remove the 3 T25 torque screws, green arrows, holding the plastic bracket in place. Take note of the orientation of the cables directly above it. Once removed, position the cables out of the way of the black foam insert above. This insert covers the compartment holding the hatch shocks. Keep in mind that these inserts are held in place with a sticky waterproof sealant that can get all over the place. It's a good idea to wear gloves here, as it will usually get all over your fingers. Use a screwdriver to carefully pry the insert out along the edge, green arrow. It's very easy to tear these inserts, but be careful, they can be reused. Once the edge of the insert is free, pull the insert out of the car. If there is an excess of sealant around the edge, take some extra time to clean it up. Up inside the compartment, you'll see both the rear hatch shock on the outboard side and the rear window shock on the inboard side. To remove the old shock, use a long screwdriver in between the chassis and the shock and pry the end of the shock off, green arrow. There isn't a lot of room to work here, so you'll have to kind of play around with it until you hit the sweet spot and the end pops off. Now use a screwdriver to pop the other end of the shock off, green arrow. It will take a bit of force to remove them. Get the new shocks ready by placing a dab of grease inside the ball cup on either end. Now here's where it gets a bit tricky. In order to remove the old shock, you'll need to slide it back up inside the compartment. Follow the direction the green arrow is pointing. This will allow you to angle the rearmost end of the shock to come down and out of the compartment. To install the new shock, place the front end of the shock in the direction of the arrow until you can slide the other end of the shock up into place. Now you'll need to press the ball caps over the pivots. The best way to do this is to first attach the shock to the rear hatch side. You'll find that they press on very easily. Now get a helper to hold the hatch, as you will need to move it slightly up and down while you position the other end of the shock into the body. This may be a little challenging, as you won't be able to see anything. It's all done by feel. Once installed, the installation of the other components is the reverse of removal. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and check out another video in this series.